Hello and welcome to Castlecraft. This is a game where you enter a voxel world and you try to defend against an overwhelming horde of skeletons and various other beasties, and you have to create your very own castle to protect your king. You are the general in this, and yes, it's basically just that. That's what you're trying to do. This game is currently available in early access. If you'd like to check it out, there is a link in the description. And we are now going to be loading into Velusia, which is the lush kingdom that serves as the home base of King Debimius. And we need to prepare ourselves for an attack. Okay, so we do have a small tutorial to go through, but I'm actually going to be skipping that because I do understand how to play, and I'm going to kind of explain things as time goes on. I do actually believe that the writing in the game is very funny, so if you do want to go through the tutorial, then by all means. There is a demo available as well, so not much to worry about there. If you want to give it a try, then you can. Anyway, so, this is my spell book. Now, what's really cool is that the timer pauses while I'm looking at this, so I can take a little bit of time to kind of explain what's going on. So, your skills can be unlocked using gold. You gain gold by slaughtering skeletons and winning, well, basically defending yourself through the wave. And that's basically what you need to do. So what we're going to do is we're very easily just going to be equipping our various actions. You can drag any of these icons onto your bar at any time, and you can then use them to create stuff. So bear in mind that some of these things are going to require other stuff. So for example, some of these things will require gold, and you're going to be able to upgrade them. And if you double click on some of these things, for example, let's say that I want to go through to wooden architecture, you can see here that I will be able to, well, basically create any of these things as long as I am using the appropriate materials. So you can see here, if I want to go and build from wood, then build into plaster, then build into stone, I'm going to have to go from wood to plaster to stone. We already have wood unlocked, of course, and there is a significant amount of terraforming available in the game as well. So, for example, if you want to do that straight away, you could do terrain mastery, whether digging moats to protect your castle or clearing space for expansion. This skill gives you the power to terraform your environment and create the perfect battlefield and fortress foundation. So there's that, and there's also a sword and shield, as you can see right here, and you can indeed gain skills in regards to blade prison, for example. Look at this, blade prison, blades from below. There's a bunch of skills that you can upgrade, and this is going to use mana. So mana is gained by building temples, which we don't currently have access to right now because, well, you will later, okay, you will later, but not right now. And you also have God-given powers. Magic is granted by gods, some powerful, some weak. For better or worse, you're stuck with the sheep god. But don't underestimate him. He has some tricks up his absent sleeves. The basic skill he grants you is telekinesis, the ability to rip blocks out of the ground and hurl them towards your enemies. Keep the left mouse button pressed to rip a block from the ground and let it go to throw them. So you can do that if you are, wanting to upgrade your fighting capabilities and you want to use something that isn't a sword. I am personally thinking right now that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to upgrade my sword and shield, and that's literally all I'm going to do with my skill tree right now. But what's really fun is this is your foundation. This is the foundation for your castle right here, and I can build this really easily. Obviously, there's one thing that we've got to do first, and that is this. We have to build a little bit of an economy, but I don't currently have access to the economic strength that we need to produce workers. And the reason for that is because I just spent all my gold on my sword and shield. But that's okay, because we're going to gain a multiplier now. I'm just going to cut down this tree real fast, because you can see here we're gaining a significant amount of wood every single time you hit it 3 times, as far as I can tell, you gain 50 wood. And there is a significant amount to be gained here. Really, really easy, actually, to get wood, which is, I think, really nice because, let's face it, you don't really want a huge amount of busy work when you're by yourself. So, as you can see, if I start the wave ahead of time, I'm going to gain a 1.8 times bonus for doing that, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is a little bit risky, but I know for a fact that wave 1 shouldn't be too difficult. It should be relatively easy. As you can see, it now goes into a small cutscene here. You can skip this if you don't want to watch this every time, but I'm just showing you this to begin with because I think it looks cool. And indeed, we're now facing skeleton grunts. Yes, we're going to be facing a bunch of other kinds of opponents as well later on. You can see here exactly how much health they have, how much melee damage they have, and so on. And I'm going to be going into battle with my sword and my shield, and we will hopefully try to slay them. Now, bear in mind, usually if you are a little bit better prepared, because let's face it, I'm not very prepared here, but if you are better prepared, you are going to have some soldiers that will help you. Yes, there are soldiers available in the game, and if you're particularly good at what you do, you can literally have them follow you around if you want to. You can have them guard you if you like, and that's a pretty cool way to play the game too. Now, there is a teleport function as well, so if you are so inclined, you can teleport to your king, and that's actually kind of recommended if you feel like you're not going to be super close to him. Like, for example, right now, I would be able to teleport to him really, really easily, and then we would have no problems whatsoever. But you can see here, he has a lot of HP right now, so we don't really need to worry about him. He doesn't do that much damage, just so you know. He does like 1 damage, because he's not supposed to, you know? He's not supposed to actually be the person that kills things. So, yeah. Anyway, there we are. The dark magic is weakening. And there it is. That is indeed a victory for us right there. Our king is very, very pleased indeed. We're gaining a bunch of cash. And that was nice and simple, wasn't it? Yes, that was very, very good. And now we are basically done. There you go. Now, there are traps available in the game as well. So what you can do is you can literally create gauntlets for the opponent to run through. Now, obviously, you have only a limited amount of space to build, at least initially. You can increase that as time goes on. For example, there is a thing called New Horizons here. For the first time in decades, humanity is expanding their reach again. New Horizons gives you the ability to build farther away from your base. So there's that. And as you see, there isn't that much of a gold cost. The gold cost is actually pretty good, to be honest. And if I want to, I can upgrade my sword and shield again, or we can just get some soldiers. If we want to get some soldiers, we can do that too. But I'm not going to do that. I am actually going to be getting the farming zone. It's going to cost me 0 now. And I'm going to get the forestry zone as well. And I'm also going to get the quarry zone. And then we are going to build... we're not going to build, but we're going to get some additional builders. And then I am wondering whether I want to upgrade my pickaxe. Probably not upgrade the pickaxe. I think it would be good to have me, have the teleport to king thing. Let's get some soldiers as well. There we go, get some soldiers. You can also upgrade your soldiers into knights, as you can see right here. And you're going to need the full upgrade of the archers to be able to do that. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, let's get out of there. And now what we can do is we can place down our archers. So look at this, we've got our archers right here. It's going to cost me 200 wood to place them. And then we are basically maxed out because you're going to need to upgrade them significantly to, well, not significantly, but you're going to need another 200 gold or 50 gold or whatever it is. What is it? How much do I need? Yeah, 200 gold to be able to upgrade them so you can then have additional platoons. So now here we go. This is where I have the opportunity to create a wall. So what I'm going to do is, at least initially, I'm going to do something like, I'm going to create a bottleneck. So now this is going to be a bit of a problem because we need to build a relatively high wall, like so. I hope our builders will get on that relatively quickly. I hope they will, at least. And then we can just go over here, and then we can go upwards. Unfortunately, that's not really going to work. As you can see, we don't have enough resources for that. But that's okay. You know why it's okay? Because we can actually do something really, really fun here. And we're going to build our little farm over here too. So let's just build the farm like that. And now I don't have any more. Of course I don't. I'm very good at this, can you tell? Yes, I'm very good at this. It's okay, though. It's okay, because we do have a lot of time. That is the one thing that we have in abundance at the moment. Look at this. We've got 6 minutes, and all I need to do is just take some time just to get some wood, and then we're going to be fine. It's going to be great. Alright, so as you can see, our builders are currently expanding my farm at the moment. Farming is very, very important because there is a, let me actually just see if I can find that right now. The economy, I think, is what I need to look at. Yeah, there we go. So you can see here that we have a food production and consumption cycle. Every single cycle, your king is obviously going to need food, and your units are going to be consuming food as well. So what do you need to do to feed them? Well, you need farms. And so that's exactly why I am building a relatively large farm here. And that's currently giving us 42 crops per cycle, which is pretty nice. Now, we're also going to be building a quarry, which is over here. This is our quarry right here. And this is our forester. So once our builders are done with the farm, they're going to be making their way over to the forester, and what's going to be happening is they're going to recruit a forester or two. I don't know how many they'll do really, but they'll recruit someone, and then he'll go off and he'll automatically gain wood for us. So I'm not going to need to go out here and actually do this. You know, he's just going to go off and do that himself. The lumberjack, you know, he's going to do that. So that's obviously what we want. We do not want to go ahead and, you know, have all that busy work available, because we are going to be gaining a significant bonus in gold just by starting the wave early. That's basically what we want to do. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to do this adequately enough. And what we're also going to do is we're going to be building my bottleneck. Now that I have a lot of wood, I should have enough to be able to do this. So let's do something like this, I suppose. Yeah, something like that. Let's raise it up. Can't place anything there? Why can't I place anything there? I don't know why. All right, okay, fine. Let's do this. There we go. And then what we can do is, I'm kind of hoping, I'm not sure if that's really going to work. Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to work, but I'm kind of hoping it will, just because they are probably going to try to make a beeline for the king. And so what I'm hoping they'll do is they'll come this way. I want them to come this way into the center here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just place this here, build that right there. And then I hope this is actually going to work. There we go, something like that. Now we do have our builders. They are, I mean, they're working as fast as they can, but they are pretty slow, unfortunately. I would actually like to see a speed up button. That is one of the, I would say probably the most, maybe the most important thing that we could get in the game right now as a part of early access, because I think personally being able to speed up this building building process would be really, really nice, because obviously your builders completely stop building when the combat encounter starts, so they're not going to have anything to do at that point, and your structures are not going to get completed. So there is that. Anyway, this is a relatively nice bottleneck that we have going on here, and as you can see, the walls are being built. I'm actually just going to go out here and get rid of this block. Not sure what that block was doing there. And we're just going to actually straighten this out a little bit here as well. Bear in mind that I could upgrade my pickaxe. You know what? I am going to just upgrade my pickaxe real quick. Because that actually increases its speed. And it also increases its power. So you can mine more... more important resources, I guess you could kind of call it. But yeah, it just makes it slightly easier. Okay, we're just going to get rid of this. There we go. Nice. Okay, so we're now just going to run over to the chest, even though it's only going to give me 1.1, most likely. Yeah, it's just going to give me 1.1, which is kind of sad, but, you know, that's fine. Now, we are going to be starting to see different kinds of units. So we're not going to only get skeletal grunts or anything like that. No, no, no. We're going to get other things. As you can see, look at these guys. They've actually got shields. This is a blocking skeleton grunt. So he's got a shield this time around. So he is indeed going to be quite, I wouldn't say difficult, but I would definitely say he's going to be more difficult for our archers to deal with. And I actually wonder what they're going to decide to do right here, because if they go through my bottleneck, then that's going to be fantastic. Bear in mind, there are traps as well. There are traps available in the game. So I'm just going to basically be running in here as much as I possibly can, because there is a small knockback function that your thrust attack has. And I'm basically just trying to use that to stun the opponents into oblivion. And there is also another stun that you can do as well, where if you block, which is what I'm doing right now, you can see here that I'm actually hitting the enemy's back with my shield. So yeah, it does. There is a shield bash ability, and you can see here that we actually did some pretty considerable damage with that, surprisingly enough. Anyway, we can now kill this. My archers are firing away. They're not very accurate, unfortunately, but there was actually a moment... oh, they're actually destroying my walls. That's actually quite interesting. Okay, I'm not entirely sure if I appreciate that, but we were able to achieve victory, as you can see right here. Very nice and simple. Our king is happy. Yes. Ah, very good. Very good. Yes. 165, and we got 59 for picking up some gold as well. And our castle has now been restored too. Okay, so here's the thing. Now what we want to do is I'm actually going to be getting local area traps. So you can also get projectile traps too, but I think local area traps are definitely going to be what I'm primarily going to use or try to use here. Yeah, so we're going to expand. There we go. Expand this. As you can see, our expansion has now gone over here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be placing traps in the ground in and around this area, because this is exactly where the enemies are going to run to most of the time. Well, from what I could tell, at least, they're going to be running here, and we want them to die as quickly as possible. And so basically what's going to happen is, as soon as they walk on this, they're going to be taking significant damage. This builder might actually get himself killed as well, because I've seen that a number of times where the builders actually do run onto the spikes randomly. So it may very well be the case that they might do that now, which would be quite funny. But yeah, anyway, so it is very, very important just to make sure that these things are put in here. There we go. All right, absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I have 162. Okay, so I have 162. I was kind of hoping that we'd have the ability to upgrade my sword again, because upgrading your sword is actually remarkably useful. Very, very useful. But I'm actually just going to be buying this, which increases my health and armor. Let's do that again. There we go. Nice. As you can see, we're actually gaining some gear. I don't know whether you could see that, but we're gaining cosmetic upgrades or cosmetic improvements, visual changes whenever we get an upgrade, which I have to admit I very much appreciate. So let's teleport. There's the teleport. Very, very cool. And we're back here, and now I can start summoning the next wave, and then we'll be hopefully fine. Now, ideally, what we want to do is when the bottleneck is fully, fully created, I am going to be building a bunch of spikes underneath that, and hopefully they're going to run onto it. Now, I am just hoping that right now what they're going to do is they're going to run forward here. They're going to try to attack the wall in the same exact position that they did before. And then we are going to murder them. We are going to murder them very, very significantly. Thank you. Okay, so we've got archers to deal with now, as you can see. So that's obviously a bit of a problem. Thankfully, I do have a shield and I am able to block with it. Now, bear in mind that every single time you upgrade your sword and shield, you're gaining about 15 damage as far as I can tell. So technically, I'd be doing 50 damage per hit now instead of 35, but you know how it is. Sometimes you're just not going to have the ability to do that because there are a number of other things that you have prioritized in that moment. Now, when you die, this is what happens. You don't actually have to worry about this at all because what happens is you die, it takes a couple of seconds, and then you respawn next to your king. And as you see, we have the opponent running into our traps, and we are very much hoping that they are just going to take a lot of damage and then die. The archers are more difficult to deal with the traps, but if you have a projectile trap, then it's a little bit of a different story, because projectile traps, of course, are capable of doing some pretty significant things. So you can see here, we've now gotten these guys down, and I can now just, yeah. So they actually destroyed the walls. Wow, very, very surprising, actually. We should probably get a thicker wall, shouldn't we? Yeah, we should probably get a thicker wall, and we should probably get some traps in the center here. I kind of didn't want to put traps in the center because it kind of prevents me from getting out, you know what I mean? So I guess what I could do is I could leave like a small lane where I could run, which is safe-ish. As you can see, the traps almost killed me as well, which is quite funny. But there you go! Victory! Victory for us once again. And we just got 405 gold plus 121 as far as I could tell. That's really, really nice. And we can now prepare for wave 4. And you can see that our forces are actually doing a pretty good job of you know, gathering things. I'm actually just going to build another forest around about there. Another forest around about here. I just want a huge amount of wood, as much as I possibly can get my hands on. And so now what we can do is we can, technically, because I have so much gold, I do have 508 gold right now, we could get the longbow if we wanted to. We can get projectile traps. We can get battle enhancers. We can get all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm going to get the projectile traps, I think. We can also get area of effect traps. So I'm going to get area of effect traps too. And I'm going to be focusing on creating a really, really cool maze. And that is indeed the entire point. So this is the projectile trap that you mostly have access to, which is a ballista. And you can see here it costs me 1,000 wood, which is significant. Now you have a magnet trap here as well. A magnetic trap that pulls units towards itself. So you also have this available too. Now if you want to upgrade and indeed unlock additional traps, then you're going to need to go into the skill book and you're going to need to spend some cash. And there's a huge amount here, as you can see. Directional explosive barrel, murder holes, small bait, large bait, etc., wind tunnel, and so on. Loads of extra things to go for there. Same thing with the projectile traps. You have defensive cannons, flamethrowers, rocket artillery, multi-ballista, and dwarven wrath cannon. The wrath cannon is named after the fabled cannons created by the mythological dwarves. Slow to deploy, they take up a lot of space, but do massive damage. Indeed, indeed. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to do what I think, which is to upgrade my sword. And I will upgrade my armor and health. There we go. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to walk over to some of these trees and we're just going to get some more wood because I'd like to build a ballista. Alright, so we have enough wood now to be able to build the ballista, so I'm just going to put it round about here. And this is why I said that it would be kind of cool. I mean, obviously it doesn't really matter right now because we have the spare builder, but when you're building a lot of things, you don't really... you kind of have to wait quite a while. Like if you don't have any gold and you don't have you know, sort of like a need for resources or anything like that, and you're literally building stuff, it would be super, super nice if we had some kind of button that just increased the speed of the game. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like the like some tower defense games have, and city builders and stuff like that. It would be cool to have like that super fast mode that would just increase the speed by 2 times, 3 times, 4 times speed, just so that your builders can get done just that much faster, and then you don't really have to worry about it too much. But I understand if there are some limitations in that regard, and as far as I'm aware, this studio, this is its first game. This is its first game, so it's very, very ambitious project, and it's looking great. And they said that they might even be looking into getting multiplayer in the game too. So definitely something to bear in mind. Oh, those guys are looking explosive. Oh dear. Yeah, that might be a bit problematic. Well, I'm actually going to run straight towards them. There are 71 units. Okay, that guy's going to explode probably. There we go. He's going to explode too. Yep, they're all going to explode. Nothing for me to do about that. And we are going to be running in. Yes, I do 75 damage to some of these guys right now. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Okay, I like that. Now all I need to do is just weaken the opponent. That's it. Just weaken the opponent somewhat, and I will be happy. And obviously we do have a load of archers to worry about as well. And they're actually smart as well. They actually run away. That's the funny thing. They actually run away from you. Usually these kinds of archers in these kinds of games, not going to do that. They're not going to run. They're just going to stand there and, you know, watch you slaughter them and everything. But no. These guys, they do not want to die. Or should we say die again? I don't know. I'm not sure if they've been reanimated or whether they're just random summons or whatever. But yeah. Oh, no. I almost killed myself. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's the thing that can happen, you know. That's the thing that can happen. Yeah, but my Ballista's doing a relatively good job here, and all I need to do is just kind of wait. And funnily enough, I could technically go out there if I wanted to and finish the job, but I don't need to. That's the funny thing. Your units are actually quite useful, and they are capable of doing damage. I've had a number of cases, a number of experiences in certain games where the AI just doesn't really do much. And, well, that's clearly not the case here. They are doing damage, and as you can see, they won the day for us at the very end there, which is nice. And there we go, we're gaining some more cash. I think it was 1.6 times, wasn't it, or something like that? Yeah, so 360 and another 218. And bear in mind, you can make trade deals with neighboring kingdoms, and that's going to provide you with additional gold, just so you know. Anyway, there we have it. That is indeed another wave down, and we are doing absolutely fantastically now. And I can even increase my architecture if I want to. I could literally start making things out of plaster if I wanted. As you see, plaster is stronger than wood and not as expensive as stone. Ideal for housing inside your castle. Now, this is exactly the point. You literally can build a castle if you so desire. You can literally go and do that. So I'm going to show you very, very briefly because I'm not very good at building in these kinds of games. So I'm just going to literally, you know, be a bit relaxed about it. But I'm just going to show you kind of what's going on here. So we're just going to do this. Something like this. There we go. And then we can do this. There we are. And this is pretty much what you're going to get. And I am going to just build this slightly higher now. We have a lot of wood right now, so I don't really need to worry about it too much. And I'm actually thinking maybe this is too thin. I'm thinking this area might be too thin. So you know what? I'm going to actually do a little bit of something here. I'm going to just do... You know what? I don't care about the window. I'm just going to do this. Because otherwise, they are going to get through that really, really quickly, in my opinion. So, yeah. We're just going to do this. There we go. And that. Fantastic. Okay. So we now have roofs that we can attach as well. So you can see here, we can attach this roof. There we are. Very nice. And then we can do this all the way over. We can do that. And then we can do this. And there we have it. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay, so obviously this is looking pretty rough right now because I didn't really, you know, as I said, I'm not very good at these kinds of things, but I just wanted to kind of show you what the game is all about when it comes to its building. And personally, it's very intuitive, as you might expect. There are no issues whatsoever with the building system. And you know what? I'm actually going to do something here. Can I build a door? Yes, there we go. Oh no, I can only build a door on the outside. Oh dear. Oh no. Okay, wait. There is a salvage option here, which allows you to salvage some things. So we're just going to salvage that immediately. And as you can see, we can then salvage this. Yeah, you can do all kinds of really, really cool salvaging. And indeed, we are probably just going to be building another door round about there. There we have it. Because, funnily enough, there was something that I did in my off-screen time where I basically got stuck inside the structure here because a skeleton died right next to the door, and his bones were right there in the doorway, and I could not exit. So that is that is a pretty funny thing, and indeed definitely something to watch out for. But yeah, otherwise what we can do is we can now do this. There we go, and there is a huge roof, and obviously this is very, very basic. I just wanted to, you know, point that out, all right, because this is extremely, extremely basic. You can go here and you can create other kinds of stuff. Like, for example, you can change things out. So, for example, let's say that I wanted to build some stairs, right? If I wanted to build some stairs, then I could just swap this out, because every single thing in your skill book is literally clickable and draggable. And so what you can do is you could literally just do this and then go inside. If I can actually do that, thank you very much. Let me just go inside. Can I not go inside? Oh, apparently I cannot go inside. Okay, well, I cannot go inside. So we're gonna just have to do this the old-fashioned way, and we're gonna do this. So let's see if I can actually make this work. It would be fantastic if I could. Okay, wait, let's actually have a look. Can I... it doesn't seem like I can actually build this upwards. I was kind of hoping that I would be able to build it upwards, but apparently not. So maybe I need something else. Yeah, it might very... wooden ladder. Hello there. Allows the player to climb up. Oh yes, that's absolutely fantastic. There we go. This is what we require. Thank you. Okay, so let's do... Let's go up there. There we go. And we're gonna just salvage this thing right there. I know I've salvaged everything that I wanted to there, which is not exactly great, but that's okay because we can just rebuild these things easily enough. There we go. Okay, and now all I need to do is just do this. And there we have it. Okay, fantastic. So there you go. Now we have the ability to go onto the roof. And if we had a longbow, I could literally shoot from all the way up there. And you can see here, now I can climb up. And boom. Now I'm on the top of my castle. And you can do exactly the same thing again and again and again. So in other words, you could literally build this out. So for example, I could build over here if I wanted to. If I expanded the foundation over a little bit more, I could do that too. And the same thing with basically all kinds of different floors as well. You could do that too. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. If you'd like to check out Castlecraft, there is a link in the description. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.